fascinating. And okay, now the final thing we're going to talk about this week, and this is, I saw this because I've been wanting to watch it for a while. Just got my Apple TV Plus subscription back, and so I decided to go and actually watch this film. And this is a film called Wolves. Wolves with spelled Wolfs, starring George Clooney and according to Sean, the son of Robert Redford, William Bradley Pitt. William Bradley Pitt. And one thing I would say, Sean, is like first up, right? This film is only adding fuel to your fire, fuel to the fire of your theory about Brad Pitt's actual dad, because the final scene for this film, it's like the final shot of this film, I was like, I think somebody else might be in on the joke, or somebody else thinks that Brad Pitt is actually Robert Redford's son, because the final shot of this film is like, it's such a almost homage. It's such a reference to the way a Robert Redford film ends.
Oh, wow.
So for that alone, Sean, I think I would be interested to see what you thought when you watched this film.
What's it? Yeah, I checked it.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV Plus, and the whole idea behind it is that it kicks off and you meet Amy Ryan, and she's a woman in a hotel room, in like a high class hotel room, and she's like, you just see a black screen, you just see her like she's just swearing like something bad's happened, and she picks up her phone and you can see her trying to figure out who to phone, and it's like, phone dad, no, phone, and then she just goes to the number, phones somebody and says, the person who gave me this number said that if I was ever in trouble, I should give you a call. And it's George Clooney, and he's kind of like, don't worry, I'll be there in a second. And he's essentially like Mr. Wolf. That might be even why this film is called Wolves. He's like Mr. Wolf in Pulp Fiction, in that he's like, I'll come up, I'm the cleaner, I'll sort this whole thing out. He's like, don't worry, nobody does what I do. Go home, tell everybody, is there anybody who knows where you are? And he shows that he's very, very businesslike, trying to sort this thing out. Then in the middle of him trying to sort this thing out and trying to get this body that is on the floor of a hotel room, and as he's trying to get it away, there's a knock on the door, and then Brad Pitt walks in, and he's like, nobody does what I do, I'm a lone wolf, and everything like that. And essentially it turns out that they are essentially doing the same job, and somehow they've both ended up in this hotel room to do the same job of getting rid of this body and trying to help this woman out, who it turns out is a district attorney. Sean, you're about to ask a question.
I was going to ask a question. I've seen this. I've seen this.
Yeah, I think
I've seen this. I think
I think you might have said that they say it. And so then the film comes up, and the film takes place over the course of a night, where it like through shenanigans and everything like that, even though they're both like, I'm a lone wolf, I work on my own, they end up having to work together to try and figure out what's going on. Then it turns out that there's more stuff that's going on. There's a bigger conspiracy that's actually going on board, and they get embroiled in it, and it becomes a caper. The film is a total caper. It's almost kind of like a bit Midnight Runny, everything like that, of just what happens with these two people. And this film absolutely coasts on the star power and the chemistry that Brad Pitt and George Clooney have. That has been worked up in all the Ocean's 11 and Ocean's movies that they've been in together and everything like that, and the repartee that they have when they go back and forth to each other and everything like that. And it is a joy just to see them sit around being movie stars, quite frankly, just sort of chatting back and forth to each other. Some of the best scenes are the scenes where they just sort of sat down talking. You know when it's like when Brad Pitt does funny, when Brad Pitt decides to lean into the fact that like he's actually quite a good comic actor. You know that works out quite well. And so this film it's very enjoyable. There are a couple of logic questions I have because it's one of these films where towards the end they try and explain the plot of what's going on, or why something goes on, or what goes on, and why all of a sudden somebody that seemed key to the plot is no longer that much key to the plot, and and I'm like, wait, and while you're watching it, you let it fly because you're enjoying George Clooney and Brad Pitt talking, but afterwards you're kind of like, sitting down with a piece of paper going, but if he didn't know about that, if he did that, then why did that happen, and when did he come in, and that I'm not sure that makes sense. I end up and then I'm not sure that makes sense. Although I would say one thing, that they have a guy in it called Austin Abrams, who looks for all the world in this film anyway like a young Topher Grace. Like, so he looks like essentially, if this film had been made 10 years ago, his role would have been played by Topher Grace. But Austin Abrams is an actor who I'm beginning to actually look at, because I think he's quite a chameleon, because he's in this playing a young Topher Grace pretty much, and he is also in Weapons. He's the junkie in Weapons, and he's like totally different in that. And he's also in Do Revenge. Holly, you remember Do Revenge?
Yes.
He is in Do Revenge as the jock kind of like bad guy toxic, like poster boy for toxic masculinity, and he's totally different in all three films. He's totally. It's like
That's good if you can get characters like that.
And the only thing is that if it wasn't for the fact that he said his name on it, I would not have linked those three characters. I would not have linked those three characters. So Austin Abrams, I think you should watch out for him. But all in all, Wolves I thought was quite good. I would give it I think it's a 3. It's a 3, but it's a high. It's a high 3, almost a 4, because it coasts by quickly. You don't realize the time is going. You enjoy it, but I think that the final shot of that film showed.
I've got a feeling. Is there like I could be thinking. I'm pretty certain I must have mentioned it. Is there like a girl in it on the phone that they talk to, or someone like that? I might. No, probably not. No, it's not.
There is a bit where they're talking to a woman on the phone.
Plays them off. Well, they want to play them off, but they end up getting together, I think. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's many bits in there where they're talking to women on the phone. There's many bits in there where they're talking to women on the phone. The reason why they end up working together is because of a woman on the phone.
That's it. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that one.
So now the only question left to ask